Hello everybody, let's make it better, and today we're doing what if Deku had the red thread of fate. Let's get into it. As everybody's pretty much in the classroom and doing their classes, it's end of the period and Aizawa came in. Sorry? Ooh, that's nasty. And pretty much hand out some paperwork. And these are the paper that each and is naming down the list of people that wants them in their agency. Oh, okay. And Aizawa pretty much showed the board on the layers from the top to the bottom. Zuko on the very top, uh, Bakugo on the second, and Todoroki. Everybody's asking why Bakugo got second, but Aizawa pretty much said it doesn't really matter who. It's pretty much who's the favorite of the whole thing and who's have more potential. As there go, Zuko seemed to have the most potential in all of his um, showing of sorts. And everybody somewhat agreed to this. Bakugo is a little pissed, but he's at least up there and still holding it, and that he's the first. He may become first. And so everybody's pretty much doing checking it through. Zuko sees who he can choose. He still doesn't decide anything, but he pretty much stood up and look at ask Suyu what she's gonna go for. She's going for the same person in canon, like last time. Zuko said, "Oh, that's perfect for you. I just hope you won't get yourself hurt, okay?" And she said, "I know, I understand. I won't go too far." And Zuko, how what agency are you going for? And Zuko said, "I don't know. None of them seem to fit my fighting style." And she said, "Really? Let me see." And she checked, and she's naming a few, but Best Genius, he used threads. He can't really jump on them. So she's like still looking for some, and Deku is not agreeing with most of them. And he was about to decide one. Well, he actually go to all his other people, his other grand fruit group, and talk to them and seeing what they're going for. And Zuko still can't decide on which one he should go for. He even have Endeavor. He doesn't know why. I guess because he wants another rematch. But Zuko is definitely not going in there. And there's no real fighting part on this just yet. So he goes to Ida, and Ida's seems focused on something, and Zuko pretty much asking Ida, and he didn't answer. So he asked again, "Hey, Ida," and he didn't answer. And so Zuko pretty much tap on him, and Ida pretty much said, "Oh, sorry, Midori, I was thinking of something. What do you need?" And Zuko said, "Oh, I was wondering what agency you're going to." And Ida said, "Oh, I'm just going to manual. Why?" Zuko said, the reason why I asked was because I was trying to decide on which agency I was going to, and so I was like hoping for your opinion." And Ida said, "Oh, sorry, Midoriya, I was just," and he's trying to leave. And Zuko said, hold on. Why are you choosing Manu? He's a very low-ranking hero. I think you had like your brother agency and other famous ones, right?" And Ida said, yeah. I figure I should try something new and see if he's. I believe he's pretty good." And he started leaving. And Uzuku's just standing there confused. And he didn't think of using his quirk because it seems a little rude. But at this point, it was getting close to the end of the class. But uh, All Might came in and asked for Zuko. So they left, and Zuko was given the recommendation to go to to go to was told by All Might that there was another one, and that it's a whole hero called Gran Torino. Zuko has never heard of him, so he asked, "Who's Gran Torino?" And All Might said, "He's my and he's giving it like a shaky tone, my old teacher." And Zuko sees how terrified he is and said, "I guess I'm going for him. What kind of fighting style does he do?" And All Might said, "Oh, he does the same kind of fighting style as you. You'll understand when you meet him." So Zuko said, "Okay," and start walking off. And I say, since it was like on a Monday, I say at the end of the week, because they do or I think they do 2 weeks of it, of the internship. If I'm wrong, then sorry. So everybody's pretty much leaving. Zuko giving Suyu a hug and just saying you chose the perfect internship and started leaving. He does the same thing. He doesn't hug everybody else, but he just tells them that they chose the right one, and everybody's pretty happy that Zuko knows, because they understand his quirk, and if he agrees to it, then they must have chosen the perfect one for themselves. So that's what they believe. But Zuko just knows, just sees further in the future. He doesn't really check and the close ones. And so he's seeing that Uraraka and Suyu and Uraraka and Ida is still there, waiting for the next train. Zuko is also waiting for the next train. So they get on, and Zuko actually turns to Ida and asks some more. But Ida is not paying attention at all. He looks so serious, like at the time they first met. And Zuko kind of sees this and said, "Guess I'm gonna use it." And so he turned on this quirk. Oh yeah, I was going to mention this sooner, but I forgot. He used his quirk 3 stages. One is only on his eyes, and he's the only one who can see. No one else can see. Two, his area effect, where everybody can see him. But they had to touch his arm or his body of any sort where they can see it. So it's like a specific person had to touch him to see everything. And then the 3 is the certain area where everybody around him, in a certain distance, will see what he's seeing. So that's why. So Zuko technically found his ultimate move. Yeah, I accidentally did that without me knowing it, because I was thinking about it and learned that I accidentally gave him his ultimate move without me knowing it, and I was making him use it more often. So yeah, I just did that. Okay, back to the story. So Zuko Ida's thread, and it turned black, and Zuko said, "Oh, no," and so he kind of like played it off like he was just stretching, but he touched the thread to see where it's going. And Zuko sees this and kept a note on what day, what time, what area, and he sees the person. And Zuko sees that Ida's gonna die from that the hero killer is gonna kill Ida at this point. And Zuko cannot accept this, so he's trying to per se pretty much pretty much actually tell Ida this. He doesn't want to be direct, because if he tells him that he saw it, he will try to change it himself. I mean, Ida will try to change it, but it will never happen, and it will change everything. So Zuko said, "Hey, Ida," and Ida actually snapped out and said, "Yes, Midoriya, what do you want?" And Zuko said, "Well," he's thinking. And a few seconds pass by, and Ida is actually asking, "So, what do you want to ask me about?" And Zuko said, looked at him and said, "Ida, There were so many options you could choose. Do not go down this road, please. And at that point, when it ended, with no hesitation, the doors opened and Zuko pretty much walked out. Ida and Uraraka already left and said bye to them. And Zuko pretty much turned around as the door was closing, said, "Don't go." And Ida went off. He's thinking about it, but does he know? And how would he know? He doesn't understand. He won't understand. And he still is going to do it. Zuko sees this, sees how his face just turned into being real serious, and knows that it didn't change. So Zuko kept a mental note on where it is, what time, and who's gone. Well, everything. So let's go skip to where he's meeting Gran Torino. He's opening the door, saying that there's a guy on the floor. So Zuko turned on his quirk, see if anything's wrong, pretty much using his threads, and he see the black thread. Since he's pretty old, he's getting close to where his death is supposed to be. And it's far from where he is right now. So Zuko kind of like check his pulse, seeing it's regular, and then check on his memories and see that he's actually acting. So Zuko's pretty much pull out a chair and just wait for Gran Torino to wake up. Gran Torino then can't handle the silence for much longer, and this for about 30 minutes. And Zuko actually got comfortable. And Gran Torino pretty much got up and looked at the door, and then look at his table and see Deku sitting there. And said, "Oh, hi Gran Torino. I knew you were sleeping, so I just made myself comfortable. I hope that didn't bother you." And Gran Torino said, "Oh, hello, Sunny. Who are you?" And Zuko said, "Oh, I'm Zuko Midoriya. I'm All Might's next, I guess." And Gran Torino said, "Okay. And what's your hero name?" And Zuko said, "Oh, I haven't told anybody. I didn't say it because I want to keep it a surprise. I chose In Time. If you guys understand, then cool. If you don't understand, just put it in the comments and I'll say it in the next video." But anyway, he said In Time. Garantino said, "Oh, that seems pretty nice name." And Gran Torino said, "Well, put on your hero costume and let's start training." Zuko already was known that Gran Torino knows about One for All, and in the training area, pretty much same spot where they were, Gran Torino said, "Okay, use as much as you can with One for All and fight me." And Zuko said, "Are you sure? I don't want to hurt you, like in canon." And Gran Torino said, pretty much punch him without did a sucker punch, and said, "You won't hurt me, you won't catch me," and start jumping wall to wall. But this is his slow point. And Zuko sees this and understood that he can't hold back on him. So he charged up One for All up to 10%, because that's what he can do right now, and did full cowling on it. So he's surrounded by electricity and start moving. And as he was like going for a punch at Gran Torino moved, but Zuko also moved. He instead of he was going for a punch at first, but since he saw Gran Torino move, he made his hand open so he can grab one of his threads, pull back, and slingshot to the next spot. And so Gran Torino is noticing this, that he's fighting just like how he is fighting, and Zuko sees that he's fighting just like him. So Zuko said, this is a perfect fighter. And so he tried to raise up his percentage up to 11 and then 12. And when he was going to 13, he actually slowed down and feels more muscle strain. So he knows that he can go up to 12%. And at this point, they both actually take a break. One because Zuko had reached his limit and needed a break, and Gran Torino is pretty old and tired too. So they're now talking, and Gran Torino is asking about his actual quirk, and Zuko pretty much tell him that my quirk is called Red Thread of Fate. And I said, okay, can you show me to it, or yeah, I can do that. I'll show you the three ways. He does the eyes, and he just pointed at them and said, "This is my first one. This is how I used it a long time ago." And Grant says, "Oh, your eyes just turned a slightly red." And Zook said, "Yes. If you look closely," and he pulled down his eyelid, and he said, "If you look closely, you can actually see the threads on them." And Grant said, "Oh, that seems really nice." Zuko said, "Okay, and this is my next one." And Zuko pretty much held out his hand and said, "Here." And Gran Torino said, "What, Sonny?" And Zuko said, "Give me your hand." And he pretty much said, "Okay." And he grabbed it and Zuko said, "Now look around." And Gran Torino look at it and see so many threads everywhere. And Zuko pretty much said, "Well," and he's holding one of his threads and said, "For me, I can," and he's doing the explanation about his quirk, and much more in detail, since this is someone that knows about One For All, so he can keep a secret. So they are doing this training camp, of him fighting with Gran Tornillo. Sorry, I'm really tired. Ow, my head. Okay, back into it. So they're out, going out and gonna do some patrol for Zuko to have a little more experience on the outside. And here comes the Nomu crashing in. Zuko and pretty much said, "Oh, great, it's the Nomus." And Grantor said, "The Nomu?" And Zuko said, "Yeah, we just fought one of them on the USJ." And I said, "Oh, so you know how to deal with them?" And Zuko said, "Yeah. Um, I believe it was," and he did a thread jail on him. And pretty much said, "Thread jail." Sorry, I can't pronounce that. And the Nomu can't move. It's the much weaker version of it. And Zuko said, "And now, see the brain exposed? You have to attack it. That's the best way to kill it." And because last time he learned, finally, well, he pretty much checked on his threads and pretty much showed that the black thread was actually going straight to his brain. And so Zuko did that way. And started looking out and see a bunch of Nomus. And he used his eyes. Gran Torino was going to tell him to stay back, but Zuko said, "No, look, I can see their weakness. Aim for their brains. For all of them, it's their brains, their weakness." And Gran Torino said, "Okay, but stay here and don't leave." And Gran Torino went off and started fighting. Zuko did not listen and start fighting, and remembers that today is the day. So he's fighting a few Nomus. Endeavor's there fighting some. Todoroki as well. Everybody's fighting them. And then he didn't get the coordinates, but he hears, "Ida, where are you?" And he looks and sees that Menu is yelling out where Ida is. And Zuko said, "Oh, great." And he started running. At first he's using full counting, Deadly, Seven Deadly Sins. Sorry, I was watching that show. Sorry. Okay, back to it. Sorry. I'm tired. But back to it. Zuko is like actually running to each alley. Got it. Each alley and looking through it. And he started using his threads to jump over to another spot, and he see Ida almost getting about to get stabbed by Stain. And Zuko see this, use full counting, 10%, and use his string and slingshot to right towards. Sorry, I just needed a break. So Zuko pretty much smashed into. I can't say his name. The hero kills a sword, breaking it, and push and getting Stain to fall back a few feet, and he kind of tumbling. Zuko standing there and look at Ida and said, "I told you not to come," with a shouting voice. And Ida said, "What are you doing here? This is my fight. I need to take him." He was starting. "I need to take him in." And Zuko said, "No, you're here for revenge. There's no such thing as a revenge and to take them in. I saw your fate. I saw that you were going to die here if I did not come." And Ida kind of quieted down and said, You saw my death and you didn't say anything?" Zuko said, "If I have told you, would you have stopped?" And Ida said, "No." And still looking down since he can't move, and saying, "So now what?" And Zuko said, "And now I'm here. I will change your fate and save the pro next to you." I believe it was called Native. And save Native, like a true hero should be. And the hero came up and said, "Ah, so you're a actual true hero. Nah, that's pretty good. I was about to give up hope on this new generation, just like that kid coming here for revenge. Such a far, sad child. I, but a job is a job." And he's jumping straight towards Ida and trying to swing at him and try to kill him again. But Zuko pretty much punch him again. Pretty much use his area thread and made since Stain. I had to pick a name. Stain. Okay. So Stain pretty much was throwing down his knives, and when Zuko turned on his quirk of the area, Stain pretty much got caught on one of the threads, and he can't force it down. And then he pulled out one of his other arms, his left arm, and start trying to stab on the thread. And it's not cutting. It actually broke his other sword. So, and Zuko pretty much punches Stain again. At this point, he had enough time to actually give a signal to where he is. And this brings out Todoroki. And he's using his power, his full power. And Ida is surprised to see this and still can't move. Zuko is tell Ida to get up, and Ida can't get up. He's saying this, I can't get up. Zuko said, "Why can't you?" And Ida said, "I think it's his quirk. I can't move." And Zuko said, "Okay. Hopefully there's someone come." And he's finding him. He's doing hand-to-hand combat with Stain because he can't really use his quirk. He's too focused into the fight, keeping Stain away from Ida. Ida and Manu. Oh, and sorry, Native. and Zuko gave him one more punch, and Zuko was getting tired. He actually turned off his one for all. At this point, uh, Todoroki came in, threw some ice like in canon, and now Todoroki and Zuko is fighting him exactly the same at 5%. He can't go up to 10 anymore. He used it too much, but he can go to 10 right now. To 5, sorry. And they're fighting like in canon, up to the point where Ida is able to stand up, and Zuko sees this and said, "Okay, guys, let's do this." And so they start fighting, all three of them. Dang it. So it all happens in canon. Uh, Ida and Deku pretty much not staying out completely. And Zuko sees this and pretty much said threat jail to make him stay. Sorry guys, I had to stop at this point, and people came in my room, and I can't really talk as loud. So at this point, it's going to end. He was captured, him just like in canon, and they're now at the hospital. At this point, I'm gonna change some parts.